friends, it's Angela.
And Gavin.
Still trying to cook. This will be the second installment of our home video series, and tonight we are making pizza. I'm making pizza with Gavin's expert instruction and his dough recipe, which is kind of a big deal.
Kind of, yes.
Like last night, I fell asleep. He made the dough. I was supposed to be involved. It was late. So what time, like what's the time frame for someone that might want to do this?
So for this particular method, you first mix the first half of the dough, and then you let it sit for about 12 hours. It's 12 to 16 hours. So you mix it together, you walk away for 16 hours. This is nice to do the night before. So you do it
before you go to bed.
Right. It's nice to do the night before. There are steps along the way where you can refrigerate this, so that's fine as well. But you can also make a same-day pizza dough. You can also buy pizza dough at the store. You don't have to go crazy and do an overnight dough. But I happen to know how to make dough pretty well, and we're gonna try this.
And I'm looking for projects.
She is. All right, so we're going to assume that you've made your own dough, because we've made our own dough. I'm first going to do a quick demonstration for Angela on how to form the dough balls and how to deal with this wet, fluffy, pretty gaseous dough, and get it onto something where we can let those dough balls proof before we bake them. We're going to get our pinkies underneath. I'm going to pull it towards us. I'm going to turn it, put our pinkies underneath, and pull it towards us. Okay. And we're going to transfer that right there. Yeah. Get a little bit of flour on those clean hands of yours. There you go.
Okay.
Just a little bit of flour. Just a little in the middle. Don't get too much flour on there right now.
Okay.
All right. Make a line.
Using this.
With that. No. Use the other side. Yeah, okay. The flat side's good. Okay. That doesn't seem like half though, right? See how there's a lot more mass over here than over here? So maybe you cut it like that.
There's that big bubble though.
That's fine.
Okay.
And remember, you're going to want to pull these apart. It's okay you're going to get your hands messy here, so don't cut it like a knife. You want to push it down and spread it. Spread it. Pull the dough. It's not a knife. Okay.
Okay. They're separated.
Okay, now get some flour on your hands.
I'm going to do that thing where you like go into it.
Yeah.
And what am I really doing here? Getting my pinkies underneath?
Put your pinkies down and you're going to pull towards you.
So I was saying earlier today I can't be choreographed, so this to me feels like a dance that I'm not very good at because I can't be choreographed, but I'm trying.
You want to put your pinkies down and pull it back. You're putting your pinkies underneath and moving your whole hands.
Down?
Yep. Roll it back. The goal here is to tighten the dough. So we're not just moving it, we're actually dragging the bottom of it.
Looks better when you do
Okay.
it. Okay, hold on.
Put your hands right here. Just use the pinkies like they're appendages you're comfortable owning. Okay?
Yeah, yes.
No, stop pulling in with your palms.
I'm not doing anything.
You are. You're pulling in with your palms.
I'm really not doing a single thing.
We're going to let these hang out for a little while longer. We're going to let these proof up. Then we're going to beat them back down, spread them out, and we're going to cook them this evening on a pizza steel in the oven because I think that's a tool closer to what you might have at home. You might have a pizza stone. If you do not have a pizza stone, you can take one of these handy sheet pans, flip it upside down, and cook on that.
That's a good tool.
It won't retain the same kind of heat as a stone or a steel, but it will work. It's very, very easy to do pizza sauce. Don't use a pre-cooked sauce. You don't need something fancy. San Marzano tomatoes, or these are Italian peeled tomatoes. It's a pandemic. It's the best I could get. Just a good can of peeled tomatoes. You're going to strain that. Now this liquid you can use for all sorts of other things.
I'm going in.
You're going in, yeah. Dump it. You can use that for a Spanish rice or whatever you like. It's a good tomato base for other things.
Episode. So I shake it down?
You can shake it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can also
so fresh.
Use that gloved hand or a spatula or spoon to move it around. Just kind of let most of that good stuff come out of it. Now, generally, this would take about 5 minutes. We're getting hungry.
I'm starving. It's 10:30.
It's late. So we're going to do this the fast way. And you're going to allow the juice to kind of flow off.
Yep.
You're going to take those big chunks and you're
start?
squeeze them in there by hand.
Woohoo.
Right now, we've got our oven at 475 degrees. We've got a thick pizza steel in there. You can use a pizza stone. I would highly recommend having some sort of large, heavy thing in there to hold the heat and to cook directly on. As I mentioned earlier, you can use an upside down baking sheet if you've got nothing else. Most of the time they're aluminum, so they're not great. If you're lucky, you might have a big ceramic one in your house. Now, right here, we're trying to get rid of a lot of that liquid. So the goal is to just get the chunky tomato stuff and not a lot of liquid.
Are you implying something about
you have
my liquid
too
quantity?
much liquid in there.
Okay.
You're
I
kind
think
of
the
scooping
liquid
it out.
just
So at home, you
came
want to
from
avoid that
the tomatoes.
to the best of your ability.
I think
Ideally,
happened.
again, you would let that strain for about 5 minutes.
Okay. So we got that.
We got that.
It's
So as
a
you
little
scoop,
extra liquidy.
yeah, as we scoop this, we're gonna try to avoid that liquid to the best of our ability.
We can do that.
That will pool up on top of your pizza, and it will literally kind of it's gonna soak in. It's gonna ruin your pizza.
We're not gonna ruin the
trying
pizza.
to say that nicely, but it's gonna really damage things. So
Okay, we're gonna avoid the
we're gonna
liquid.
avoid that. We're actually gonna scoop that with a slotted spoon.
Yep,
There's always ways around.
that's right. That's
Angela's
what I was
learning
thinking
to cook.
anyway.
The other thing we're going to do to this is add some salt. That's the basis. That's the basic. Excuse me.
You can add
to that,
garlic.
you can add
I
garlic.
want garlic.
You can add some basil. You can add things like that. Traditionally, you wouldn't add basil until the very end. But it's your sauce. It's your pizza. You do what you want. Again, don't use cooked tomatoes. Don't use cooked stuff. Keep your oven nice and hot. Make this a very thin layer on your pizza, and it will cook. And it'll just become the right amount of sweetness and doneness, and your pizza is going to be perfect. So that's tomato sauce.
Is it pizza time yet?
It's almost pizza time.
Okay,
She
we're
has
getting
no
closer.
patience, but we're getting there. So we're on to that final piece, and the actual cooking process takes almost no time. So if you've purchased your own dough and not gone through the process, you could have been at this a long time ago.
Cheaters! I should be asleep by now. That's what we should have done. Boboli.
Eating
That's what I
enough
grew up
pizza
on.
to fall asleep. But
Right?
this is going to be a much
Goals.
better result. So in order to spread it out, we want to start in the middle. We want to work our way out. So the first thing you're going to do is get some flour on those hands.
Here we go. Trying to handle dough like
Get some flour on those hands. Get some
at
flour
all
on the
correctly.
back of this knuckle.
Okay.
That knuckle right there, this one. All right, now make a fist. Okay, you're gonna push it right into the middle. Use your knuckles to get right in the middle, and you can turn your hand a couple of times. Nope, pick it up. Push it down. You want to spread it out. Nope, just pick it up and push it down.
You just
Pick it up.
just do it.
Turn your hand and push it down. I love
Okay,
it.
like a stamp.
Yep.
Okay.
The motor skills.
I have to
Okay.
start watching Mason's videos again.
All right, she's plowed that down. Now the
Okay.
next step is we're going to make sure that your hands aren't sticky or aren't, you got a little bit on those fingertips. We're going to pick it up and we're just going to press around the edge. As we're doing that, we're letting the weight just kind of pull it down. If you feel it start to get sticky as that dough stretches, just a touch more flour, just a little tiny bit. We're not trying to do too much flour. And then as you pick it up, we're going to gently stretch. Just gently, yeah. And you want to pick it up from, you can feel right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, don't pinch the edges. Just from the inside out.
Literally not
remember?
doing anything.
Yeah, you're already doing it incorrectly though. You want to hold from the inside out. So see how there's still that fat piece of dough?
Yes.
You want to keep that on the outside.
Yes.
You grabbed it right by that fat piece.
Okay, so go inside.
There
Keep
you
the
go.
crust.
Yep. And then from the inside of that out, all the way around. Stretch the dough ever so slightly. Pull with your hands. Yep, you're still smashing that side.
I can't.
It's okay. All right.
I only
Pull.
eat pizza.
It's okay. Pull and do it. Try it from
Stop.
underneath. Just pull your thumbs ever so slightly apart. I'm gonna pull
Why don't
that
you just
dough
expedite
out
this?
just a little bit. Out there. Look at that. Just like Boboli, right?
Just like Boboli.
Now you know how to work with this thing, right? It's back to basics.
Coat.
Just a slather.
Just a slather. Am I going all the way to the ends or am I staying in the middle?
Stay in the middle. Be Kandinsky. Yep. Already more than you need.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, you had me get extra.
No, I didn't. This is.
I'm going.
That's for all the
free.
pizzas.
Oh.
That is.
Excessive?
For the record, an excessive amount of olive oil.
Great, so I'll just top it with wet tomato.
We walked through this first, and she's already forgotten everything.
That's because I'm hungry.
A little bit at a time. Put it down, and spread it with the back of your spoon. It's thin, real thin. It's a lot of sauce.
Okay.
This looks beautiful, Angela.
Doesn't it?
So the next thing you want to do is get a lot of that olive oil out of the brush, right?
Oh.
We're gonna really gently.
Oh.
Just give a little.
Well, what does that do?
Hello. This is gonna help give you some browning. We don't have the same kind of heat that we would have if we were using a pizza oven, like a wood-fired oven, or.
What if we had used the grill?
We would have been a little hotter in there, and we would have had the advantage of wood smoke. This is going to help us brown that crust up in the oven, and that's going to be really nice. You can also add a little afterwards and throw it back in. We're going to do it all at once.
What if we wanted to add more, like where we got prosciutto and arugula?
We do have prosciutto and arugula, and that's a great point. Right now, I would add any ingredients that you want to cook at a high heat. So if you're using red peppers or onions or things like that, I would slice them very, very thin. Again, there's going to be some moisture there, so that's another concern with your crust at the beginning, especially if you've got a little wet sauce and a lot of moisture going on there. You can also put on some meats like pepperonis and things like that, some thicker things, but in our case, we've got prosciutto. And if you put prosciutto on and let it cook as the dough rises, it's going to get hard. It's going to get way too overcooked. If you put it on right at the end, it kind of melts into it.
All right. Looking forward
Same thing with
to the end.
our greens like arugula. We're going to want to put those on at the end so that they stay fresh. They will wilt ever so slightly, which is really I love wilted arugula. We'll put the prosciutto on first, let it melt to the pizza. We'll put our arugula on, a drizzle of olive oil, salt and pepper.
Sounds so good.
And then we'll eat it.
And then we'll fall asleep.
So this is going to take a nap in the oven, and we'll check back in shortly.
We're getting close, guys. I can smell it.
It's almost time to eat.
It does smell really good, and it looks really good.
It looks just like Boboli.
Okay, that's all those gas bubbles,
Look
ain't it?
at that. Exactly. This is the result you get from a
And it doesn't look that wet, so calm down.
You did great.
Thanks.
You did good. The bottom got nice and crispy.
How's that little,
look at that
little spot you were a little worried about?
It's all good. That's probably enough.
Excuse me. Didn't we just talk about rules? Okay. Bam.
Okay.
Now I fold it and then I eat the entire thing.
Crack a pepper if you'd like it. No,
seriously.
And there you go.
Fold it and eat the whole thing.
Angela has at least in part made a pizza.
Yeah, I did like 72% of that.
It smells so good. We're going to eat this and we'll check in again later.
I'm going to eat this.